Hello and welcome to Crazy Math Productions. Today we're going to be looking at using dimensional analysis to convert within the metric system. You can convert within the metric system, within the customary system, or convert between the systems. Today we're just going to focus on the metric system. Now, we have to use the dimensional analysis to convert, but that doesn't mean we can't use sort of the easier method. The easier method is simply using an old acronym, King, Henry, died by drinking chocolate milk. This is kilo, this is hecto, deca, which is going to use the abbreviation DA, the base unit, deci, and this is just uses a D, regular D, this uses a DA. For example, decagrams, meters, liters, and grams are the base units. Decagrams would be DAG. Decigrams would be DG. And so that's how you can tell the difference between these two Ds. Deci, centi, and milli. So these are my base units here, and these are the rest of my prefixes for the metric system. Now what I'm going to be doing is going from kilometers to meters. So here's my kilo. Here's my base unit, which meter is one of the basic base units. From kilo to the base unit, I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3. So I'm going to take that 180. And I'm going to move the decimal place, which is right behind the 0, 3 places. 1, 2, 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3. And of course I fill this with zeros. That's 180,000 meters. Now that's the basic way to do it. There's also the dimensional analysis I must show. It's a South Carolina state standard to be able to use the dimensional analysis. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the 180 kilometers. Put that over 1, a rational form. I'm going to say times blank fraction. The kilometers must go on the bottom. Now I want to go from kilometers to meters, so I'm going to put the meters on top. Again, why do the kilometers have to go onto the bottom? Well, we're dividing these out. For example, 10 divided by 10 would be 1. 100 divided by 100 would be 1. 6 divided by 6 would be 1. So kilometers divided by kilometers, they're also 1. They divide away. So I go from kilometers to meters. Now, the larger unit, the one furthest to the left, gets the 1. So in this case, kilo, kilometers, that gets a 1. So I can put a 1 right here. It's not necessarily that it's on the top or it's on the bottom. It's the larger unit. So the larger unit is the 1. That goes in the bottom. Now what goes in this other blank? Well, let's count how many times we've moved. 1, 2, 3. So we've moved 3 times, so we need 3 zeros. And this is my work. Now, how do I get to this 180,000? Well, 180 times 1,000 is 180,000. 1 times 1 is 1. And of course, we're left with the meters. That's how we get 180,000 meters. Let's try another one. First, I'm going to start with King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Nice little acronym to use. We're going from kilometers to decimeters. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 places. Remember, decameters would have had an A with it, so it would be DAM instead of just DM. Now I'm going to just simply take the decimal place and move it 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill this empty spot with a 0, and we get 60 decimeters. Now, we do have to show the dimensional analysis here. So we're going to put the 6,000th of a kilometer, 6,000ths of a kilometer over 1, divided by 1, and say times a blank fraction bar. Now, since we want to get rid of the kilometers are on top here, so they must be on the bottom here so that we can have them divide out. We want the decimeters on the top. Now, the unit further to the left, which in this case would be kilometers, gets a 1. The decimeters, we need to figure out exactly how many zeros to add. Whether it's 10, 100, 1,000, a million. We moved 1, 2, 3, 4 places, so there should be 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. So this is my work. If I were to multiply 6,000ths times 10,000, I would get 60. 1 times 1 would be 1, and of course I would have decimeters. So really, I would do the easy way, get an answer, and then come back and show the dimensional analysis for these metric system problems. Okay, by now you should start to get the hang of it. I would like you to go ahead and pause the video and try this on your own to see if you can get the correct answer. Okay, let's see how you did. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. We're going from decagrams. Which one is that? It's this one, because remember this one's going to have the A with it. More letters, it's bigger, it's to the left. So decagrams to centigrams. Centigrams are here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 places to the right. Same thing here. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 places to the right and fill with zeros. So this is going to be 500 centigrams. We must show the dimensional analysis. So we're going to put the 5/10 decagrams over 1 in fraction form, rational form, or say times a blank fraction. Since decagrams are on top, we're going to put decagrams on the bottom so that they will divide out to 1. And now we need to put what we want in its place on top. We want centigrams. Now the larger unit, centigrams or decagrams, let's see which one's further to the left. Further to the left. Decagrams is further to the left than centigrams are, so we're going to put a 1 next to the decagrams. If you look back through these examples, you notice that all of the larger ones have been on the bottom so far. Is that always going to be the case? No, it's not. It depends on which way we're going to be moving the decimal. Sometimes the larger one will be on the top, sometimes the larger will be on the bottom, but always look and see which one is furthest to the left to be able to determine which one gets the 1, the number 1. Now, for the other unit, it's going to be a multiple of 10, so let's see how many places we've moved this decimal. 1, 2, 3, so we're going to need 3 zeros behind the 1. And this is my work. This is my answer. We're finished. Okay, number 4. Again, I'd encourage you, go ahead and pause the video and see how you do. Let's try it now. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. These are decagrams, or decameters, decaliters, decagrams. Depends on the base unit. And these are deca, so keep that in mind. So milliliters, start here. We'll go to deciliters. I know it's deciliters because it does not have an A. So I'm going to the left. 1, 2 times. Now, I also am going to be taking my decimal point, 1, 2, to the left. And fill with a 0. We have 0.0732 deciliters. Now, if you count tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths, This reads 732 ten-thousandths of a deciliter. Now let's go back and show some work here. 7 and 32 hundredths milliliters. We're going to put that over 1 times blank. The milliliters are on top here, so these must go on the bottom. We don't want the milliliters. Those will divide out. We do want the deciliters. So deciliters go on top here. Let's see which one gets the number 1. Which one is larger? Well, the one that's furthest to the left on this acronym is deciliters. So that's going to get the 1. You notice it's a little change from what we've done before. Usually the 1 had gone on the bottom. Well, now it goes on top. It doesn't matter except that you have to have the 1 with the larger unit. So the larger unit in this case does get the 1. Now, what should we be putting with the milliliters? How many milliliters are in a deciliter? Well, for that, we just simply look at how many places we've moved the decimal point. 1, 2 places, 1, 2 zeros. And so now our work is done. Multiply across, 7 and 32 hundredths. 1 times 100 is 100. And of course, deciliters. And if you actually work this out on a calculator, you would get the same thing that we have as our answer. Let's try again. Number 5. Same process. King Henry died, put an A with it, by drinking chocolate milk. We're going to go from milligrams to hectograms. So it's quite a jump here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units to the left. So we're going to have to take the decimal point and move it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fill with a 0, to the left. Now, we definitely need this 0 because it's between the decimal point and our significant digits. But this 0 to the right, since it's behind in a decimal form, we don't necessarily need that. So we're actually going to erase that 0. It is not necessary. But we have not shown our dimensional analysis, so we're not going to get any points at this point. 1,350 milligrams, I'm going to put that over 1, times blank. Now again, I want to get rid of the milligrams. I do not want the milligrams, so those will go on the bottom. And these units will divide out. I want hectograms, so I'm going to put hectograms on the top here. Now, which one is the larger unit? Looking at our diagram here, hectograms are further to the left, so hectograms get the 1. How many milligrams are in a hectogram? Well, let's count how many times we've moved. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're going to put 5 zeros with our 1, that is 10 to the 5th power. And if you were to work this out on a calculator, you would simply multiply across. 1,350 times 1 is 1,350. 100,000 times 1 is 100,000. And if you divide this in the calculator, you'll simply get what we had done at the very beginning. For this example, why don't you try pausing the video and try it on your own. Okay, let's see how you did. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Again, which one of these D's gets the A? Which one is deca? It's the one on the left. So we're going to look at liters, which is a base unit. Looked at hectoliters. We're going from liters to hectoliters, so we're going to the left 2 times. That means that our decimal point, which is behind our digit here, goes 1, 2 to the left as well. So we're going to put a 0 in that open slot there. This is 5/100 hectoliters. Let's prove it using the dimensional analysis. Let's put the 5 liters over 1 times blank fraction. Liters are on top here, so we're going to put liters on the bottom over here. That way, we've got 1 in the numerator, 1 in the denominator. They're going to divide to 1. I want hectoliters on top because that's what I want to change, to convert into. Now, which one is further to the left? The hectoliters. So we'll put a 1 with the hectoliters. How many liters are in a hectoliter? Well, we've moved it 1 2 times, so we're going to put 10 to the second power, or 2 zeros, the number 100. 5 times 1 is 5. 1 times 100 is 100. And of course, hectoliters are the only unit that's left. And if you were to divide 5 by 100, you would get 5/100. This is the fraction version of the decimal. 5/100 hectoliters. So this is correct. Again, I would encourage you to pause the video, try it on your own, and let's see how you did. King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. Now remember that the left D gets the A, that is deca. Now let's see, kilometers to centimeters. Kilometers are here, centimeters to here, so it's going to be quite a distance to travel. We're going from kilometers to centimeters. We're going to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So that means that we're going to move our decimal place 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places as well. So this is 50,600 centimeters. Now let's go back and show our work using dimensional analysis. We're going to put the 506 thousandths of a kilometer in rational form divided by 1 times blank fraction. Now the kilometers I don't want on the top, I want them on the bottom so that they will divide out. In its place, I'd like to convert to centimeters. Now, kilometers are further to the left, so they're going to get the 1. Centimeters, let's see how many centimeters are in a kilometer. We've moved it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So we're going to do 10 to the 5th. That is 100,000. So let's multiply this through. If you multiply this with a calculator, you're going to end up with 50,600. 506 thousandths times 100,000 will be 50,600. 1 times 1 is going to be 1. And then we're left with centimeters. So you get 50,600 centimeters. Okay, try another one here. Again, I would encourage you to pause the video and try it on your own, see how you do. Okay, and King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. So we're going to put an A with the deca. This is, of course, the deca. Now, centigrams, we go from centigrams to hectograms. Going to the left here. So 1, 2, 3, 4 units. We're going to do the same thing with the decimal place. We're going to move it 1, 2, 3, 4 places to the left. So we get 80.3000. The thing is, these zeros are after the significant digit in the decimal place, so these are not necessary. We have 80 and 3/10 hectograms. Now let's go back and prove this using some dimensional analysis. 803,000 centigrams, we're to put this in rational form, divided by 1, times blank. The centigrams are what we want to get rid of, so we're going to divide these out by putting the centigrams on the bottom. To get our conversion unit here, we're going to put the hectograms, which is what we want to convert into, on the top. Now look on the acronym here. On the left, which one do we have? Hectograms or centigrams? Definitely the hectograms are to the left. That's the larger unit, so it gets the number 1. The centigrams, we're going to figure out some power of 10. 1, 10, 100, 1,000, etc. Let's figure out which power of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 10 to the power of 4, or 1 with 4 zeros behind it. And we simply multiply across. 803,000 times 1 is 803,000. 1 times 10,000 is 10,000. And of course we have hectograms as the only unit left. If you divide this out on a calculator, you will get 80 and 3/10. That concludes our lesson for today, converting within the metric system using dimensional analysis.